Hello one and all, this is your friendly neighborhood Oxhorn, and welcome to the Nuka World Red Rocket. This is my finished settlement build. I'm going to take you on a tour of my new settlement, and I'm really excited to show it off to you. This is the only new settlement that comes with the Nuka World DLC, and I finally got it finished, so let's go on a tour. Now, first things first, there's only one spawn point in the entire settlement, very similar to most of the Far Harbor settlements, which mostly only have one, sometimes two spawn points. This one only has one spawn point, and it's right here. That said, I have actually gotten attacked from way over there before. I was actually building over here. I was working on this building when I got attacked by some gunners who ran at me from over in that direction. So that's where the spawn point is, and it is the only one, but I don't know what to tell you. I haven't found it to be accurate. So what I did is I created this little contraption here. This is my defense fortification, and you'll notice something a little different. I don't have any turrets here. That's because I installed a mod that gives me access to the alien turret. You remember this guy. This is the guy that you see in the Galaxy Zone ride shooting other robots. And you also come across him yourself in a number of locations. And he's pretty deadly. So what I did is I created this fun little scaffolding area. Put a couple of these guys up there just to sort of stagger them out so that when/if enemies spawn in this location, they'll be taken for quite a ride. I also have a guard post over here. This is a unique guard station. I'm using a mod called Thematic and Practical to get a lot of Raider-esque looking buildings, and this is one of the guard posts that comes with it. So I've got my guard standing here at attention with an alarm over here ready to ding the bell in case of an attack. So just to show off what it's going to look like, let's go ahead and simulate an attack. And they are deadly, ladies and gentlemen. They are indeed deadly. Whew. Alright, so we survived that. Let's see if our automatron alien turret things got any damage. Nope, he's good. He's good. He's good. He's good. So 5 of these guys took out an entire gunner force of like 10 to 15 gunners in one fell swoop. Well, maybe not 15, more like 10 gunners or so. So there you go. That is my primary defense station. But even though there's only one spawn point in this settlement, I do have a number of other defense stations set up, which I'll be showing you in a minute. So let's talk about this building really quickly. This is my marketplace. The way I am considering this settlement is I think that it's probably an oasis in the middle of Nuka World. I've got my Minuteman flag flying from the top of the Nuka-Cola bottle. This is protected by the Minuteman. It is an oasis for traders and people to come by. And so I've got my own little marketplace set up here, and it's protected by the Minutemen. And I decided to use the inter-exit signs, and I've got a little bottle mascot guy there. Going on up inside, and you see that I've got a shop for every location. There's a general store with a merchant. Order is safety. Work together and we can rebuild. Here we have a clinic. Lots of chems on the tabletop there. A gurney back there. And a waiting room, kind of. It's like a surgery slash chem shop. Join the Minutemen. Rebuilding the American way of life. Here's my weapons stall. And I really decked this guy out. I've got crates of weapons, bins of weapons, big shelves filled with ammo and weapons back there. Over here is my clothing store. And I've got some clothing set out there, and then a couple of shelves back there filled with clothes. And then here is my armor store. I couldn't really think of a good way to decorate it up aside from just putting some dummies out there. So I killed some pack raiders and looted their armor and put it on these dummies. And there you go. So the way I got this to work, it is a working, functional shop. as you can see, and I'm using a mod that gives me these mats. These are actually shops right there. You assign the merchant to the mat, and then the merchant will use the merchant animation on whatever table you put down. So I just put down a table, I decorated it up myself, and this gives me much more room to make a sort of enclosed marketplace like this instead of having those rickety shacks, which are really annoying. And then I just put some nice posters on the wall and some decorations out here just to make it look like it's lived in and it's part of an active marketplace. So there you go. One of the things that I want to do with this settlement is I really want to merge the worlds of Raider and Nuka World. So I'm using a lot of cheesy Nuka World decorations and a lot of Raider decorations. I really wanted it to feel run down and hacked together with a lot of scrap. So all my buildings are dilapidated. I made great use of some of the old wooden structures and then of course some really decrepit workshop structures. So I really tried to make it feel hacked together. That's the thinking that went into this. So according to that theme, I have wires all over the place providing power to this facility. Now these are interesting. These are new lampposts that came with Nuka World, and you don't actually wire electricity to it to get it to work. It works on ambient electricity, so as long as there's a power source nearby, it will turn on. I suppose they thought of that as a way to reduce the wires that are going in and around your settlements. But actually, I've found that that's not true, because now I actually have to make sure that there's a power source near the light. So I've got these street lights, and then I had to put these big pylons near to them just so that ambient electricity would light them. So it actually kind of made more work for me and made my settlement a little bit more messy. But that's okay with this settlement. This settlement is supposed to look messy anyway. Okay, so here's the road and here's the primary directions. Let's take a look. Let's orient ourselves. All right, first aid and gift shop that way. We've already taken a look at those. Let's see what this. That's the exit, so that leads out of the settlement. This is to refreshments and games. Okay, that's making sense. And then that's to the restrooms. So going on up there, we'll go to the restrooms. Let's check out the refreshment area. So I found these bumper cars in the Nuka World tile set, and I wanted to make use of these mannequins because these things are just amazing. This is the operator training dummy. Here are some training dummies from the pack, and here are some more training dummies. And I pushed them on down into these bumper carts and roller coasters and kind of made this traffic jam leading out of the facility. I wanted to be creative with the different types of housing that we used. So I not only have shacks everywhere, but I also made good use of these buses that came with Wasteland Workshop. And since I got attacked from over there at one point, I do have these turrets every now and then. I'll have them on top of a bus just so that I've got sporadic defense throughout the settlement. So here's my bus. I'm using a mod called Northland Diggers to put the flower boxes down there. And I thought we'd have a nice touch of some rose bushes. Going on around the bus, I've got a nice big Nuka-Cola World of Refreshment statue there, and then some more roses covering the wheel wells. Over here is another guard post. The thematic and practical mod comes with a number of really great guard posts that look like burnt out trucks, crumbling cars, and so forth. So I've got my guard settler assigned to this guard post. It has a ladder where you can come up into the bed of the truck, and then she's wearing her police outfit, and she's got her harpoon gun, and she is guarding the road. I've got an alarm here in case she wants to ring the alarm. And then just for fun, this is a permanent puddle of water, so I put a flamingo inside a life vest smoking a cigarette. Because why not? So this is my residential house number 1, and this is just a bus. So coming on up in here, we see that they've got some personal effects and decorations, and there are a couple of beds down on here. I wanted to make sure that all of these homes looked decorated and lived in. So we've got a source of light in here, a nice lantern, and it's decorated on top of the dresser. Over here are 2 more beds with another knick-knack shelf and another lantern. So, put down a couple of really nice rugs, making it feel homey. Okay, here is my Red Rocket truck stop. I put a flag on top of the Nuka-Cola bottle up there, and actually there's a nest on top of that. Here, let me show you. If you use a jetpack to get on up here, there's actually a nest. I put my flagpole on top of it, but there was a skull in there and a Nuka World lunchbox. And then the nest you couldn't get rid of or scrap, so I left it there. And instead I planted a Minuteman flag. This flag comes from a mod which has a whole bunch of Minuteman propaganda, and I absolutely loved it, so I wanted to include it in my settlement. Starting from the front, we've got a hitching post, because I'm sure people are riding Brahmin or horses around the Commonwealth and the Wasteland. So I've got a hitching post here where they can water their horse, and there's a bale of hay. I don't know if that's fake hay or not, but I put it down there anyway. Here are the Nuka-Cola mixing stations. Settlers do come up and use these, just like other workbenches. So periodically someone will walk up and start to mix Nuka-Cola, which is fun. And then here's the eating station. I've got a whole bunch of these diner tables out here, and the settlers come down and they'll start eating or writing on pen and paper, eating their steak, having a drink, enjoying themselves. I wanted to have a light touch here, so I didn't scrap the fuel dispensers here. I thought they looked really nice. And then I've got some garbage cans over here, another garbage can over here, and more seating over here. This is actually a hot dog stand, and I filled the hot dog stand with crispy squirrel bits and iguana on a stick. I remember somebody telling me that the crispy squirrel bits and the iguana were euphemisms for human meat. Yeah, I don't know if that's true or not, but I put it in the hot dog stand, and then I put down a restaurant vendor mat here and assigned a settler to it. And I don't know where he's at right now. He kind of wandered off. But it does work. He'll just sort of lean forward, and he leans on the cart, and he works it just like a regular shop. All right, going on into the truck stop, I tried to leave as many of the junk and decorations as I could. So this came with it. This wonderful little small engine repair sign came with it, and I decided to leave all of that. And then coming on in here, I left this shelf, and I just decorated it up with some bottles and stuff, and mainly because I really like this clock. If you scrap this this shelf, you lose the clock, and I just thought that was so cool looking. If you watched one of my previous videos, you know that I complained that Fallout 4 didn't come with a Nuka-Cola display stand. You see the display stands all over Nuka World, but the settlement menu doesn't come with one. Well, I found a mod that actually gives you access to the Nuka-Cola display stand. So here's the display stand. I've got a variety of Nuka-Colas in here looking great. I left all of the tires in this corner and the baby carriage in this corner. And I also left all of these wonderful images that came with the truck stop. They're so unique, you can't find them anywhere else, and so I figured we might as well keep them here. I put some posters on the wall just to make it look really good whenever possible. There's another poster on the wall. And there's my merchant. I think she's, not sure why she's reading a paper. The animation should be leaning over the, well, who knows, maybe the mod author gave the settler a variety of different animations for this. I'll put some fluorescent lights in the same light wells that you can see used to have lights in them. And it's lit up really well. And then over here, I've got a mod installed called Northland Diggers, which gives me a bunch of really neat settler workstations that you can assign a settler to. Here's the Wasteland Chef Settler Workstation. I believe this one generates food slowly over time. And it's basically just a grill on a brick fireplace with a lot of food everywhere. So I've got my settler assigned to it, and she's cooking up food for the diner. I've got shelves over here decorated with Nuka-Cola and kitchenware and kitchen utensils. All of these boxes and crates came with the settlement, and I just moved them over in the corner and stacked them on up to make it look cluttered and lived in. And then here we have a nice big diner shelf filled with beer, water, Deezer's lemonade, Nuka-Cola, hard liquor, cups, kitchen utensils, a bunch of boxed foods. This diner is good to go. We are ready to start serving the public. On it here is where the butcher cuts up his meat. Here's another workstation from Wasteland Diggers, and we've got some rolled leather over here. This looks like a big hunk of Brahmin meat that he's cutting up into Brahmin steaks, which is pretty great. We've got a filled refrigerator with all sorts of lovelies, and then this is a workstation. This is a scavenging station. You can assign a settler to this, and the settler will come in here and wash dishes and generate scrap, just like a scavenging station would. I do have a settler assigned here, but I'm not sure where she's at. I've noticed since Nuka World that the settlers don't stick with their assigned stations quite as often as they used to. They kind of get up and walk around. See, now we've got a new settler here. Where did the other one go? What are you doing there? I don't know. Coming on in here, this is the workshop, and man, yay, there he is. This is another Northland digger scavenging station. This generates oil, I think, and it's basically a rusty old motorcycle. I figure if I was in the wasteland, I would try to recover pre-war technology like motorcycles and cars and stuff and do my best to work on them. So this guy in his Brotherhood of Steel jumpsuit is working on fixing up this motorcycle. I left all of the scrap that was here. This was here, that was there, and I just moved it around. So all of these boxes were here. I moved them into the corner, and then I covered them with cans of paint and cans of oil just to make it look more lived in. These shelves were all here, and I just decorated them up with empty antifreeze bottles, some Wonder Glue, lots of Wonder Glue in the corner here, some Abraxo cleaner, just to make them look cluttered up. And same with these. These were all here, and I just moved them around. This is a mod that allows you to build filled shelving units. With just a couple of clicks, you can completely fill a shelf with decorations. It's really easy. Do It Yourself is the name of the mod. By the way, I'm linking to all of the mods that I mentioned in this video in the description of this video. So if you want to use any of these mods for your own purposes, after the video, just go to the description and you can download them for your game. Okay, so there's my Red Rocket truck stop. We'll get to the top of it here in a minute. Moving on to residential area number 2. Here's a big old truck bed. The truck bed came with Wasteland Workshop, I believe, and then the actual truck itself came with Thematic and Practical. Same with the sandbags. I used the sandbags to cover the empty wheel wells, and then I used the Northland Diggers planters to cover up many of the other gaps. Here's another turret here in the back just to kind of spread out my defenses a little bit. Moving on up here, here's another little house. We've got 4 different beds here with a carpet down, some personal storage, and a light. Nothing too elaborate, but it gets the job done. I wired these lights all the way across the road. So here's the main drag. This is the main road that goes through Nuka World. And I tried to light around the road. The road comes off in this direction and then also in this direction. So there are 2 roads from here that lead to Red Rocket. I decided to put the big truck here because you see these tire tracks, these muddy tire tracks. I figure, you know, they're bound to find some old decrepit trucks lying around that they can convert into homes. And then I left this one open to be the primary, one of the primary entrances into the Red Rocket truck stop. Moving on back. And I figured, hey, they stumbled upon some boxcars. Well, why don't we go ahead and make some boxcars? Also, you know, this whole park has been crumbling for 200 years. I'm sure the settlers here went and salvaged some of the decorations to decorate their own settlements. So what I did is I made this cross shape, this kind of cross section for my boxcars. Whoa. Oh, my provisioner. My provisioner is stuck in my boxcars. This is the robot I made for this settlement, and I turned him into a provisioner. As you can see, he's a space sentry. And looks like he got stuck. He got stuck in my boxcar. Alright. Well, I've got a bunch of little beds in here. There's a bed down here with some art on the wall. Personal storage, a bed here with some Minuteman propaganda art on the walls. More beds over here and a Nuka-Cola poster, and then more beds. It's basically just a big cross. And then in each wing of the cross, I have a different set of decorations. So here is the playground. These decorations came with Northland Diggers, and I figure, you know, you're going to have some kids in your settlement. So they've got a little Rockets toy there. Here's a swing, a teeter-totter, and then monkey bars with a creepy bird staring at you. So that's for the kids, and then over in the corner, I really like this. Here's the mascot chilling in the shade with Cappy on his head, just leaning up against the boxcars. Over here, I've got these ice cream cones kind of staggered around. I left this. I could have scrapped this, but that came to the settlement, and I just liked it. And then I put a little turret up there. Over in this nook of the cross, I put in a bunch of lollipops. And then over in this nook of the cross, I've got ladders that lead on up into the various boxcars. I'll have to get him unstuck later. So this, I think, was the primary driveway for the Red Rocket truck stop before the war. You see these two pillars here, and then the mailbox, which I decided to leave. On this main road that comes on up through here, I decided to build another little house for my settlers, this one out of a different colored bus. I hid the wheel wells and any gaps with some sandbags and big old tires to kind of make it feel like it's more sturdy and secure in there. And then I've got another planter on up in here, and I've decorated it up with curtains. I've got some lamps. I really like the orange glow that comes from these lanterns. So I put as many lanterns in these buses as I could. And that leads us to the farm. Here's the farm. I built a big greenhouse for my farm, and my settlers are farming it dutifully. So I do have child settlers in this settlement. I'm using a mod called Orphans of the Commonwealth for that. Sadly, one of the only work animations that came with the game for kids is farming. So all the children are farmers. I have all the kids doing the hard farming labor here. But that's okay because work builds character, so I'm not upset about that. This is my carrot farm. As you know, if you've watched my previous builds, I tend to build carrot farms and only carrot farms because the carrots are so low to the ground that you can actually interact with your settler while he or she is farming to trade gear, so on and so forth. Over here I have some garden utensils. We've got fertilizer, cement, rakes and shovels and boxes and a little bit of the harvest stacked up there. And then I've got it lit really well on the inside. So there you go. There's my greenhouse. And then over here, I decided to build a barn for my Brahmin. So I have my water purifiers, my water pumps that came with Wasteland Workshop out here. And I actually just noticed that there's a spigot on the water pump. So I put a bucket down beneath each spigot to catch the water. And then here's my barn. You saw a Brahmin on the roof earlier, and yep, there he's still there. So sadly, there is still that glitch. But here are the Brahmin troughs that came with Nuka World. These Brahmin troughs come from a mod that gives you water. It fills the Brahmin troughs with water, which I really like. But the Brahmin come in here dutifully. They just don't always face the right direction, and sometimes they compete for the same trough, as you can see here, which can sometimes push them onto the roofs, which nothing you can do. It's a game limitation. And then I've got fertilizer in the corner because, of course, Brahmin generate fertilizer. Alright, so we're kind of doing a big loop of the settlement here. This is my shower facility. A big public shower for the residents of this settlement. And looks like no settlers are using it right now, but I've got a mod installed that has working functional showers. Not only can the player character use the showers, but settlers will come on up and use the showers as well. It gives them a brief little bit of happiness for your settlement. And then over in this corner, I've got a laundry facility. I've got a pre-soak bin over here, a big stack of laundry detergent, some hats, and some other clothing. And then this is my laundry station, which actually does work. You can take dirty versions of clothing and launder them to become clean versions of clothing. This is a mod called Laundry Day, which I will link to. Over here I got a big stack of towels so the settlers can go dry off after they've finished bathing. And I have an invisible marker on the ground here that works kind of like how bars do. So if you've noticed, at the end of the workday, settlers tend to congregate around a bar. That's because bars have these attraction points where settlers tend to be attracted to at the end of the day. Well, the author of Build Your Own Pool, called AKARNAN, he's got a little small invisible square that you can put down in points of interest that also attracts settlers at the end of the day. So I've got some of those tiles in here. I also have them at the diner. And then here's the final, second to last building, which is the toilet facility. I've got a nice big rocket coming on up in here. It says restroom on the wall for men and women. It's a unisex bathroom. And then here are all the bathroom stalls, complete with toilet paper and some functioning working sinks, decorated with toothpaste, I've got some decorations out over here, complete with towels and cleaner and personal effects, and then some urinals for the men so that everybody has a place to do their business. These also are fully functioning toilets. I've got an attraction marker on the ground so that at the end of the day, the settlers will come on up in here. They're attracted to the toilets, they will use them and flush. Gosh, my worlds are colliding here. All right, let's talk about the top of this Red Rocket truck stop. So if you watched my Let's Build, which I published a little bit ago, you saw me build this live. What I'm thinking with this is I wanted a place for my settlers to kind of kick back and relax. They've been working hard all day, they've taken their showers, they've gone to the bathroom, they've eaten at the diner, and now they need a place to relax. So I built a lounge up on top of the Red Rocket truck stop. Here's where I have my power, and by the way, this is the first settlement I've ever built with over 300 power. Let me show you briefly the stats for this settlement. 36 food, 37 water, 36 people, 36 beds, 512 defense. This is the first settlement where I've ever had to have more than 100 power. And the reason for that is because I have quite a defense structure set up over in the corner, which I'm going to show you in a minute. So I've got 2 fusion reactors. I figure it's probably creating nuclear material, so I've got some nuclear material up there. And then I built this ladder with some scaffolding, and you can climb on up here, and this is the primary hangout spot for the settlers. Looks like we have a few people out here. Here's a smoking station with some checkers on the table where settlers can sit back and smoke their cigarettes and play some games. And then I have some of the new games that came with Nuka World over here. Alright, the last time I filmed myself using these games, I embarrassed myself. Everyone told me how horrible I was at it. Oh. Now somebody told me that I could hold E and then throw it. What, did it work? No, I don't know how this works. I'm going to do it the old-fashioned way. This is the way I used to do it when I was a kid. That's right, buddy, I'm going to get the top score. Nothing you can do about it. Oh, fail! Oh, epic fail! Oh, man, and I can't even win by cheating. Well, anyway, I've got a jukebox over here, a token dispenser, and of course, like any game room, if you've ever been to a casino, you know that people leave their cups and waste everywhere. Here's another whack-a-mole, where you can actually whack a commie. That's what it's called. It's called a whack-a-commie. I've got a commie whacker here that you can take and then whack some commies. And then here are the gambling slot machines that came with Vault-Tec Workshop. Decorated them up with some beer, put a garbage can out there. And then I've got some tables over here because I figured the settlers are going to need a place to eat their snacks and drink their booze. So this is more furniture that comes with the Thematic and Practical mod. Look at how rough built these tables are. Looks like just scrap plywood and cinder blocks kind of glued together. Here's an old decrepit toilet that's been turned into a chair. A broken wheelchair that's been turned into a chair, just some tires. I love the way it makes this settlement look. I've got some noodles down there. And then here's the billiard table, the pool table. Looks like somebody's been getting ready to play a new game. They've got their smoking cigarette and they've already racked up the balls. So they'll come on in here and start a new game. And then over here I have the entertainment. This is my mod called Singing Settler, and the singer is actually this lady right here, but it looks like she's taking a break. But typically she does come on over here and she'll sing a song, and the spotlights even follow her. Look, the spotlights decided to shine on her. There are a few scripting glitches with this mod, but I do like it when it works. Over here I've got a Nuka-Cola and a Vim machine side by side. I realize this is Nuka World, but hey, I'm feeling heretical. I've got this one completely filled up with all the Vim you could ever want, and then this one is completely filled up with the latest and greatest Nuka-Cola flavors. Here is a bar, and there is a bartender assigned to it. I'm not sure where he's at, but I used the BLUEBEERS vendor's mat to assign a settler there, just like typical. And this is a new bar that came with Thematic and Practical. It looks scratch built with a bunch of wood, and it's got this nice awning on top of it. So I put the bar together with Thematic and Practical. I decorated it up using DINO'S decorations and OCDECORATOR with the cash register and all sorts of cutlery and glasses. Here's some crates back here for storage, filled with all sorts of bottles, and this is a working ice cooler. If you put Nuka-Cola and beer in here, in 15 minutes to 24 hours, it'll turn ice cold, so it does actually work. This is from a mod. And then these are 2 new shelving units that came with Thematic and Practical that I decorated up with all sorts of food and so on and so forth. So there you go. This is my loungy area. I think it turned out really well. It gives the settlers a great view of Nuka World, and I'm just really thrilled with it. All right. Now you're going to notice my frame rate start to drop because we're heading on into a very highly decorated portion of the settlement. But first I want to talk about this over here. This is where the bulk of my defense resources come in. And the reason for that is because that house right there is constantly respawning with enemies. Looks like there are none there now, but this house is a frequent spawn point for disciples, the pack, operators, super mutants, and gunners. And it's a stone throws away from your settlement. I've found that after I put up these settlement defenses, that as soon as I fast travel into the settlement, these things activate and start tearing the enemies to shreds. So I figured, hey, why not make the Commonwealth a better place? I'm going to build some turrets here, even though these guys don't really attack me, to take them out so that they can't kill scavengers. I used the prefab from the Contraptions Workshop scaffolding set to build a 3-story turret structure over here. The bottom floor has a bunch of aliens and turrets. The middle floor has some heavy laser turrets, and then the top floor has a mixture of aliens and missile turrets with 1 spotlight. And then I put down another one here with a couple of aliens and some more missile turrets. And it's pretty effective. Then over here I've got another guard station that came with Thematic and Practical. I love the way it looks. It's got a truck bed down there with some sandbags. I went ahead and put a ladder on up here so that the settler can come up here and guard her post. If she sees any activity, she'll come on over here and sound the alarm. That brings us to this monstrosity. Oh boy, I had a lot of fun building this. So I put most of my settlers, about half of them are sleeping in the buses and the trailer beds and all of that. But I wanted a place that felt really, you know, part of the wasteland. It's built with scrap wood. It's scrounged together. So I built this really unstable looking rickety shack. The foundation has wrecked cars, a wrecked jukebox, tires everywhere, fish nets. It's all built on top of all of this rubble. It's uneven. It's not like a straight pillar. It kind of grows and leans to the side. So I supported it with a lot of scaffolding. There's a big balcony up there that's supported with scaffolding. And I tried to make it look unique, so I didn't use the same pieces for every single wall because I wanted it to look like it's real, like it's been really built. So I tried to mix and match as many pieces. This is something I don't typically do with my builds. I haven't used the wooden shack tile set since Far Harbor came out, so this is a first, but I'll give you the grand tour. So coming on up in here, we get to floor number 1. And yay, I get to use some of my pack furniture. Here's the pack rad gorilla chair. I'm really pleased with that. Coming on inside, and we've got a lovely little living quarters. 4 beds to a floor where I could keep them, decorations. And then here are some new beds that came with Thematic and Practical. They look gross and horrible and kind of thrown together, which is exactly what I want to see. Here's another one over here with some cinder blocks and big tires. I've got a safe, some bullets decorating the place up. And that's floor number 1. Let's head on up to floor number 2, and there's the Brahmin chair. It's got udders under there, and it's on hooves. I think it's so great. So coming on in here, you see it's got a completely different floor plan. Personal effects with some storage. Everyone's got their own dresser, and it's decorated up to suit their needs. And over here is the living room of the facility, where I've got the Brahmin couch. I think this is my favorite piece of furniture that came with Nuka World. It just looks so great. I've got a coffee table, decorated it up with all sorts of doodads, and here's my working TV. Let's see if we can get something to play.
what's with the dark glasses? I never seen a tuna in dark glasses.
You don't see tunas with cigars every day either.
Oh, come on.
Alright, so we're not going to sit there and watch it, but that is the Videos of the Wasteland mod, also with the Brainwashing mod, which gives you some unique holotapes that give you commercials from the 50s and 60s, which I think is a nice touch. So that's a working TV on in there. Then I've got another bed over here. He's got personal storage underneath the bed, and that's floor number 2. Then coming back around here, and sorry for my frame rates, as you can see there's a lot of decorations going on, so I'm getting like, well right now it's actually okay, 33 frames per second. But coming on up here, here's the ladder to floor number 3, where we've got even more beds. I had to fit 36 settlers in this settlement, folks. So we've got some storage over here. Here's the only couple's double bed. And most double beds that come with the game only count as 1 bed, but this one actually does count as 2 beds. The mod author had enough foresight to make sure that it counts as 2 beds, and the settlers do use it like a couple's bed. So it looks great. This one looks great. Man, I just love this thematic and practical mod. I've got some decorations over here with do-it-yourself. And then here's another sort of loungy area. I love these little, I believe this is a chaise longue. I keep mispronouncing it. It's spelled chaise lounge, but I guess the French is chaise longue, chaise longue, chaise longue, chaise longue. I don't know how it's pronounced. Here's a coffee table, which is a big old tire filled with a big bowl of fruit, because every home's got to have a bowl filled with fruit. And then I've got another nice little armchair over there with a Nuka-Cola poster on the wall. More personal storage, another place for settlers to sleep, and then rounding the bend, we've got another bed underneath the stairway with his own personal storage. Coming on up, we get to the final floor here. We're greeted with a Minuteman piece of propaganda, some more storage over there, although this guy's got some weapons on the wall. Coming around the corner over here, we've got another bed, some more storage, bookshelf, nicely decorated bookshelf. I downloaded a mod that completely reskins the way books look in the Commonwealth. These are actually based on real books. You're going to find Alice in the Through the Looking Glass in there, the lower orders of plants and animals. These are all real books, and it looks great. Here's another, and the final bed. So that's 36 beds. That's the top floor. Then I wanted to have a nice balcony area. So coming on out here, it leads on up to the balcony, and look at this view. You see the water tower, you see Bradburton, is that what it's called? Bradburton, that town over there. There's the dam over there, and then of course Nuka World. It's a beautiful view on up here. I put this awning that came with the Thematic and Practical, and then I used some of the Raider chairs again because I just love this couch, and this chair is utterly fantastic. So here's the smoking station. I got a cigarette machine. It's decorated with lit cigarettes and some beer. These guys out here are playing some board games. And then I put some guns out here because I figure the settlers will come out here and take pot shots at the rats and the gunners and the evil enemies that decide to come out and harass them throughout the day. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. I am pretty pleased with the way it turned out. It's not beautiful at all. It's supposed to look gnarly, and I don't know, it kind of feels a little compartmentalized for me, but it suits my purpose as well, and I'm pleased with how it turned out. So, wow, ladies and gentlemen, that is it. That is the entire settlement. Let's take a look at it at night, because this place looks amazing at night. As you can see, I've got it lit up pretty well. Each house has got lighting on the inside. It's 2 in the morning, so the settlers are heading on over to go to bed. I put some candles down in here to kind of give each of these cars a little soft orange glow to make them even more creepy. Especially when you come up and say hi to that guy. You can see the soft glow from the lanterns inside the buses, which I think is such a cool little touch. And then I used these strings of bulbs in as many places as I thought was suitable to kind of just add a little bit of a point of lighting throughout the place. Every building has lights. You've got minimal lighting in there because it is a greenhouse after all. The bathroom has lights, and then of course this place looks great lit up at night. Why is the singer sitting over here? She should be singing. I don't know what's going on. And then there is my shanty. My little shanty town. Settlers go up and down the stairs. You can see the lights glowing from inside. It looks like a lived-in place. I'm really tickled with how it turned out. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That is it. That's the whole kebab. Thank you so much for watching. I hope the wait was worth it. This is the final settlement. That's it. This is the very last settlement that Bethesda will ever give us. But thankfully, there are wonderful modders out there who are continually producing wonderful content, including new mods. If you would like to see me download some settlement mods where I can open up some new settlements and do some settlement builds there, let me know in the comments below, and who knows, maybe I'll start to do some settlement builds for non-traditional settlements that you can only gain access via mods. Remember, every single mod I talked about in this video I linked to in the description of this video, and I also have a supplemental mod list document that has every single mod that I personally endorse in the description of this video, so check that out. Please subscribe from all of my other settlement builds. I've got over 35 of them done to date, so please check them out on this channel. Subscribe for more Fallout 4 and Nuka World content, and thank you one and everyone for watching.